All right, hello out there in YouTube land. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little review on one of my cool little toys here. It is a electric scooter. It's a Segwey Ninebot ES4 that I purchased in June, and I'm just going to kind of give you guys my review of it, so let you know how I use it and what I think about it. So without further ado, here we go. Here it is. This is the Ninebot. So I got the one, I wanted to get the ES4 because it had a little more battery power. Again, you can get the, I think it's the ES2, which does not have this piece on it right here. It would just be the tube without the extra battery. But I wanted to get the extra battery because I do travel a lot uphill. And I'm going to go to my in-laws' house after work one day, for example. I need to go a lot uphill, so I do use that extra battery and that little bit extra speed to get there. Now, overall, I was kind of hesitant about buying one of these things. I didn't know how I was going to use it and if it was going to be worthwhile. But over the last few months, I've realized that this is a game changer for me, because I used to walk about, say, 8 or 10 minutes to the train station from my house, and then I had another 15 to 20 minute walk to my office before I would do tours. So that just added more time for my walking. Of course, then I had to walk back to the train, ride the train, and then walk back from the train back to my house. So with this, it's cut down a lot of that. All right, it's great. I love it. It was kind of a little bit more of an adjustment. Again, I'm almost 50 years old, so I did have my crash. Okay, like probably most people have had a crash on one thing or another. The one thing that got me was when you push the little electronic brake here. Okay, it stops on the front wheel. All right. So it's all stopping on the front wheel, and there wasn't even really a curb at all. It was nice and smooth, but there was somebody walking across in front of me, and what I did was I didn't realize that it stopped on the front brake as quick as it does, and I pushed that, but I was leaning forward, so of course we all know what happens there. We fall down, and at the age of almost 50 years old, that was about a week and a half recovery before I could even sleep well again. I twisted up my back and everything. But now I know when I'm going to stop, I kind of lean back and I'm good to go. Oh, it's got some lights on it. I could actually drive this all the way to work. I work about 12 miles into town. Okay, so that's how far it is from here to San Sebastian. So I could actually drive this in if I needed to. I'm not going to get there very fast. It does 30 kilometers an hour, which is moving pretty quick. And that was something I was worried about when I was going to buy one of these things. Is I was looking at these other models that were over 1,500 euros, different things. They had both wheel drive and all that other good stuff, and they go really, really fast. However, 30 kilometers an hour on this thing is pretty quick. That's I would say that's about all you need. It depends on what you're using it for. If you're using this as a daily commuter and you're driving from here to Donostia every day, or from outside of London into London, or from outside of the city into the city, and you need to get there really fast, maybe those other ones will be okay, but this one works perfect for me. This one is like right on the money. This is exactly what I needed. I just ride it to the train. It folds up like this. Right before I get on the train, I just do this, give it a spin, and then I walk it right here like this onto the train. It works out great. It's got a little bit of a shock on the front, so if I have to go up and down stairs, I can. But if I have to go down a lot of stairs, what I do have a Jeep Wrangler. What I did was I took one of the handholds, or what we would call the old crap bar on the Jeep, and I bought some a while back that I couldn't use because I didn't like the way they were. But I bought it and I said, hey, that works great for this. So when I go up and down stairs, or when I'm getting on the train, I just grab this and I'm on and off pretty quick. I can lay it down under my seat. I can hold it up like this if I have to. It works out great. As soon as I hop off the train, boom, I unfold it, which is as simple as right here. You just push down on the fender, push it up like that, turn it on, boom, off you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the deltas and the positives. Again, I don't call them negatives, I call them deltas just because. But my deltas on this thing are, when you buy it, they don't really go into this a whole lot, but it says you're not supposed to ride this thing in the rain. Now, it does rain a lot here in this part of the Iberian Peninsula because of the climate here. It rains a good bit. And I was kind of worried about that, but what I did was I kind of sealed up the bottom where the where the little connections are. It didn't come really sealed well. This little, it's just like a little rubber plate there. It was coming off like I just touched it and it would come off. So what I did was I did some silicone and I siliconed that up. Okay. The other thing I don't really like so much is the fact that the suspension part is it's kind of exposed to the elements. And you know, in a wet environment with that, you're going to have to do a little bit of maintenance on that every once in a while. You need to lubricate that, of course. Another thing I don't like a whole lot that I've noticed in the past couple of days is the fact that if you look at the front tire, and I don't have very many kilometers on this thing, if you look at the front tire, it's getting worn pretty quick. I mean, it doesn't have near the tread that the back tire has. Again, all the power's coming from the front end, and I just don't understand why it's wearing out as quick as it is. Other than the fact that when you steer, of course, you're going to have more wear on this than you would the back tire, just like any front-wheel drive vehicle. One thing to keep in mind when the weather. I found this out the hard way on the way to give a tour one day. It was kind of misty and drizzly and rainy, and I ride the bike path. The bike path in San Sebastian where I ride it, it's got a lot of leaves and everything like that on the ground. So I was riding in, I didn't think much of it. You know, I was getting a little bit of drizzle on me, but when I got to the office, I was covered in the back with debris and mud and sand and everything like that. So I've had to break out my old motorcycle riding gear, rain gear. The back end, this fender is a little short because, as you can see, the anything that's coming up is going to shoot up this way, and it goes right on the back of your leg, on the back of your clothes. So any kind of wet weather like that, you definitely need to do something. The days that I don't have my rain gear, if it's unexpected, which happens here a lot, what I'll do is when I ride, but I put my back foot like this, and that kind of keeps everything from flying up on me. I may take a little bit of a piece of rubber, and I may modify this a little bit and kind of make a little bit more of a fender on the back side there. That's about the only deltas I have on this thing. Is that it's, you know, it's great. I like it. These are the positives I like about it. It's plenty fast. It folds up nicely, rather quickly. Like I said, like I showed you, I get on the train, I'm off the train, I unfold it, and boom, there I go. I ride the bike path. It's great. I can go for maybe 4 or 5 days without charging. Charging time, I just plug it in at nighttime, right there. You know, it's got that. It's got an app on the phone, on my iPhone, that I can use, and I can kind of control some different things. I can change some settings. I can actually lock it on my app as well, change the name. A lot of cool things on the app. The price of this, I think it was somewhere around 690 euros, more or less. We'll put that down there on the on a little bit of the description there. I bought it off Amazon. It was great. Pretty quick shipping, of course. I'm always happy with Amazon, but then if I'm not happy with it, Amazon's great about me sending it back. But that is going to be my review of the Segwey Ninebot here ES4. It works exceptionally well for what I wanted it to do. Again, I was a little hesitant at first about buying this because I didn't think it was going to be enough. I was looking at some of the bigger electric scooters, but that would have been a waste of my money. I think this thing is like spot on. It's great. It's probably an older model now, but if you're out there looking for something to just kind of get between here and there, or between the train in your house, or the train in your office, or the bus in your office, or whatnot, or just a quick little ride, this is it. For the commuters, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So I highly recommend it. So as I plugged in my scooter after filming most of that review video, I did remember one thing that is definitely a delta, and it has to deal with these two screws right here. I've had to tighten those two screws up several times now because this whole front assembly gets kind of loose, and those screws won't tighten up. So that whole front assembly right there will get loose because those two screws tend to get loose. Luckily, I have an Allen wrench and I can tighten them up, but that is one thing that's definitely something I would tell you guys to watch out for out there, is when you get these, make sure that those two screws right there, you keep those tightened up. Maybe put some thread lock on there. I'm not sure. I might try that later. But that was another delta that I had about this Segwey Ninebot. So as always, this video has been sponsored by San Sebastian Walking Tours. Please subscribe, click the bell, do all that stuff you're supposed to do and help us out. Again, we'll get more and more videos going out there as soon as we can. Our next video we're going to do is some equipment reviews. Again, we're just kind of starting out, so I'm just going to give my opinion on like this camera that I'm using now, my GoPro that I have, other things like that. So that's going to be coming up very soon on one of these videos. So stand by for that. Again, we'll make the mistakes for you.